He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Dad?
Yeah.
Where am I going right now?
You are going flying because you're crazy to do these things.
Paragliding, my first paragliding experience.
I don't want to watch you. Did you go to the bathroom?
Like 5 times. I'm feeling scared, but excited.
Huh?
I'm excited because I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. I'm going with pros who want to like chill up in the air for 45 minutes. Let's see. The area we're going to is called Loulé in Portugal. There's something about travel which helps in taking a leap of faith and overcoming my fears. Unlike living in my comfort zone, going off to a new place far away from my regular life reminds me to push my boundaries beyond what I imagined possible. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, there's no way I could or would do that? Or that it's impossible that I would find the courage to overcome a certain fear? Or even find comfort in trying something that is completely unfamiliar and foreign to anything I know or have experienced? I've definitely done that more than just a few times. I've always been a risk taker, a dreamer, a firm believer that pushing the boundaries will help me discover not only what I'm made of, but also who I'm meant to become. As the years passed, I became more timid and began saying no to experiences I would usually say yes to in a heartbeat. What was happening to me? Sometimes I became more afraid to do even the simplest of things. Growing up, playing sports, climbing trees, and enjoying the outdoors were always a big part of who I was. When I fell, I'd get right back up and try again. A few years ago, I found out about paragliding and thought to myself, there's no way I could do that. I began seeing some friends try it in different parts of the world, and I thought they must be absolutely crazy. I was mesmerized by the courage they had to experience something that is so daring. I put the thought aside and crossed it off as something I'd never, ever do. Little did I know that things would change for the better. This summer, while vacationing with family in Algarve, I met my father's friend. A quiet man with his words, but loud and adventurous in his actions. I was surprised to know that after retiring, he took on paragliding as one of his go-to hobbies. And I thought to myself, if he can do this, then so can I. The first time I made the promise to join, my stomach churned relentlessly. I became sick, and just the thought of going paragliding and jumping off a cliff made me dizzy. And I don't even have a fear of heights. The scarier part was the promise of staying up in the air for a minimum of 45 minutes. My mind simply could not handle this. Thankfully, the following day, neither my stomach nor the weather were helping the situation, so I was able to get out of it. I honestly felt like a coward. Now I knew I absolutely had to do this. I knew that by overcoming this fear, it will symbolize a lot more in my life than just that paragliding experience. I knew that by taking this risk, it will bring back the old me, a daring, adventurous free spirit. Nothing can stop me now. As my father, his friend, my brother, and myself drove up to Loulé's hilltop, my emotions began to settle. There was no cliff, and that surely helped. But I knew I was in good hands when I was paired with this wonderful Portuguese pilot who was so full of life and who had taught my father's friend how to paraglide. As we began to assemble the gear and attach ourselves to that massive kite, I knew this was it. It was time to take my fears by the horns. As I tried to hold on, In a split second, I found myself up in the air, flying. I had no time to be scared. I was already doing it.
Nice. That's it.
I released a big sigh. My stomach relaxed and I felt liberated, revived even. I smiled uncontrollably and laughed with all my heart. Something in that moment clicked. I knew I could conquer everything that stood in my way, no matter how big or how small. Life couldn't bring me down. As we flew above that hilltop with 5 other pilots going back and forth, high and low, we just had fun. A whole lot of it for 1 full hour. Time does fly by when you're having fun. In that moment, I made a promise to myself to never forget who I was and to remember that no matter how comfortable I get in life, I must keep pushing the boundaries and trying something new that scares me as often as I can. Many times, it's the fear of doing something is what really holds us back. But if we just pass through it, we realize there was nothing to be afraid of to begin with. A little bit of faith is all we need to pull through to unlock a world of experiences, growth, happiness, and satisfaction. Let me leave you with a few wise words. Risk more than others think is safe. Dream more than others think is practical. Care more than others think is wise. And expect more than others think is possible.